Well, welcome back to Tarmac to Single Track. Today we're taking a ride up Bullion Canyon, and we're going to start off by showing you some photos of what the miners' camp around Bullion Canyon looked like. The time is 1865. They found gold up in the creek, and that set off about 60 years of mining in this area. The weather is pretty rough up here in the winters, I imagine, and the summers are nice and pleasant. Take a look at the photos, and you can stop and pause and actually probably even blow up the photo sizes, so you can get an idea of and read what it is that the photos are about. I made them high enough quality you should be able to do that. The road up was wonderful. It was nice. It was smooth. Along on the ride, we picked up my friend Daryl. Daryl and I have been riding across the USA on motorcycles for several decades. We met in the 80s at PMTC Point Magoo when he was in the Navy, and I was a tech rep for McDonnell Douglas, and we've been in communication and riding pretty much ever since. He was on his bike, and you'll get to see that in the video a little bit later, and I was in my UTV. In this video, you're going to see that the road we took up, I've just cut that out. We're going to start when we left the camp and then continue in a loop around the trail loops around, picks up another trail at the bottom of the mountain, and then goes back into the hotel area at Maryvale. Unfortunately, we didn't get to make it. This is April, and the pass was still snowed in. There should be some video here showing me being snowed in on the trail. I'm out in the snow trying to see if I can make it across. Unfortunately, the wide 28-inch tires didn't do me any more good to float my machine across the snow than anything else. It just sunk in eventually. So we had an idea that this would happen. So it wasn't a surprise when we hit it and turned around. It was fun to play in the snow with the UTVs for a while. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get us a little bit of music so you can watch some of the rest of the photos, and then we'll get into the video. headed up the trail towards Cottonwood Canyon. As you can see, Daryl is up there riding his bike. He's got I believe it's a Honda 450. You can see some of the trees here show signs of being in a forest fire or have. And they did. There was a big fire about 4 or 5 years ago. They're working to clean all of that out and get it all set up. So here we are on the trail to Cottonwood Canyon. Milo is in the lead in his UTV. Daryl is second, and with the camera, I'm bringing up the rear. So, sit back and enjoy some of the scenes here. The trail is nice. If you want a trail that's nice and quick and easy, not technical at all, and full of beautiful scenery, this is the place you want to be. It's just a wonderful place. It is all accessed via the UTV from Marysvale. We parked our UTVs in front of our room at Marysvale, and we rode all of the trails in this area from that hotel room. So we did about 400 miles of trails. Wonderful thing. As you can see, the burned out trees right here, they have been working for the last, since the fire, to clear the area out and get it set up to go again and to grow and produce more trees. As you look up in the mountains up in front of us right now, you still see the snow. And if you get an idea of how steep the canyon is, look at up in front. The camera on the vehicle points straight with the vehicle, so it is up at the same angle that you're riding on. But if you look at how high the other people are in front of me, you get an idea of how steep the trail is. It's fairly steep. It's probably 35 degrees up or more. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful ride that we went on here. As you can see on the side, we're starting to run into some of the snow. Didn't think much of it. Now this is early to mid-April. The weather up here, the pass doesn't open up till, according to the locals, mid to late May. And I believe the year before they had quite a bit of snowfall. So it's going to take quite a bit longer for it to open up and allow riders to get through the trail. Again, you see the devastation by the fire that came through. I think it was 3 years ago, they said. It was a while. Now, up we go. Shouldn't be too much longer, and we would be getting into the snowed-in area. You can see the snow again on the mountaintop up there. I believe where we went was not at the top. There's a kind of a saddle that goes through, and that is in fact where we got stopped by the deep snow. So the machines were running. Milo's running a CF Moto 950 Sport, which is a 50-inch wide machine, a 60-inch wide machine, and I'm running a CF Moto 950 Trail, which is a 50-inch wide machine. And it's interesting to note that while there is a difference in the width, And some trails were marked as 50-inch wide only. We never found a place that Milo couldn't get his 60-inch wide unit. So more trails are opening up to the 60-inch wide vehicles, and this is definitely one of them. We're going to go up a little bit farther. Again, the dust here isn't quite so bad. I'm giving them a little bit of extra room to let the dust settle. The camera actually sees pretty well through the dust, so it's not an issue with the video or the camera. It's an issue for the driver. The helmet I have has a face shield on it with a sun visor in it, and I'm wearing a shemagh, which you can actually tie it to cover up the air blowing up in the helmet, and if you want to, you could pull it up on you and make a mask out of it. Here we are at the summit of where we can get through. Milo's already turned around, or in the process of turning around. I'm just not smart enough right now to do it. So Milo and I have intercoms. So we're speaking to one another as we go, and that's why there's a little bit of a lag here in the video, because he's saying you can't make it, it's snowed in, and I'm going, really, have you tried? And he says, yeah, I've tried. And I go, really, have you tried? And I think the answer to that is no, he hasn't tried, because I don't think you're going to see any UTV tracks on the snow. So I'm going to give it a shot here in just a second, and we're going to see if I can get farther in than he did. Well, there is a little bit of track here. I'm not sure this was done by his UTV. I don't think he tried it. I'm not sure if I've got to cross this area or not. As you can see, I'm in four-wheel drive throwing up snow, and it's moving. It's just not moving very fast. Back up a bit. And I thought I went forward some more, but I guess I'd had enough too. Yep. More than enough for me. It's time for me to start turning around and seeing if I can get out of here without having to be towed. One of the things that we kid each other about mercilessly, although there's no problem with it, is having to be pulled out of a mud puddle or a hole or whatever, or having to be towed out of an area. And you see it's quite a bit of snow being spun up by the wheels. I think Daryl is over there on the left with a camera or a little bit of video showing how I got out. Now I'm back about as far as I can. I think I'm going to pull forward from here and head out. So yeah, up in Bullion Canyon, where all the photos were, it was an operating mine from about 1865 to 1920. They say that most of the money made was by people selling the rights to mine there. The actual gold they pulled out didn't quite pay for what it would cost to actually own the mine and start to mine it and pull gold out of it. So it changed hands quite a number of times, even though it did produce enough ore to be profitable. It was just kind of one of those items that at some point in time it just didn't pay for itself in the long run. Now, Daryl obviously I think is going to lead off on the way back down the mountain. And I think Milo's going to follow, and then I will probably be number 3 in the order again. There's a number of interesting things. There were a lot of artifacts left in the Bullion Canyon area where the photos are we showed you. The camp actually goes up another 2.25 miles up the trail. Apparently there's a lot of equipment that was left there. One of the things the information brochure states is they used a lot of state-of-the-art mining equipment. Well, that equipment, some of it, at least, maybe a large portion of it, I don't know, was left there. So apparently it would have cost more to pull that equipment out of the mining area and reclaim it than it was actually worth. It could also have been there 20 years or so and been amortized out of their balance books if they had accountants back then. There are a number of myths about the area which have proved untrue and been unfounded, and I think one of them was about the Dalton gang was caught in the cabin up a little bit higher, and somebody shot the cabin full of holes. They can neither confirm or deny, but we pretty much say that nope, there was no Dalton gang there. I just had something that was pretty interesting. I couldn't remember, but let me see. Interesting to know that when this mine first opened up, the gold was valued at $20 an ounce. In 1892, the government set that price. By 1934, it was up to $35 an ounce, and right now we know it's up over $4,000 an ounce. So gold prices have really risen since that time. Also, interestingly enough, they have found what they think is evidence that the Spanish were there mining in that area in the late 1500s. Well, that's about it. Take care. Hope you enjoyed the video. Come back.